Yeah, welcome to this interesting video. Today is November 11, 2024, and this is me, Desmond Chinedu with Meta AI Llama 3.2. As you may know, I started a campaign with my magazine, Awake Digest, a few days ago. The campaign is titled, it is hashtagged, Call a Terrorist a Terrorist. Now, I wrote the first song to promote it yesterday, and today I wrote another one. Now, this is the report of my interaction with Meta AI during the writing of the song. I came up with 2 lines, and I wrote it. I wrote the 2 lines. It said, call a terrorist, and not a bandit or militant. There is a little research I did talking about terminology in describing terrorism and other violent acts or groups. So I'm going to share that on another occasion. But from there, I realized it is wrong to identify certain violent groups in Nigeria as terrorists, as bandits or militant or some other words. They should be properly labeled terrorists, and that's why I started the campaign. So I came up with two lines of the first stanza. I wanted to rhyme A-B. So I wrote, call a terrorist and not a bandit or militant, and I shared it with Meta AI and said, look at the above verse and complete it to a 4-line verse rhyming with the A-B scheme. I said, here's a completed 4-line verse rhyming with the A-B scheme. It says, call a terrorist, the evil deeds leave death and pain, and not a bandit or militant. Justice demands we speak their name. No, that's not what I want, because it doesn't agree with the tune I got at the center of my spirit. So it says, I said, I didn't say you should just rewrite the verse. I said, complete it. So now complete the verse. And it says, here's the completed verse. Call a terrorist and not a bandit or militant. Call evil by its truest name and stand against their cruel intent. You can see he got it wrong, but there is still a lesson we can learn there. Say, call evil by its truest name. Yes, we shouldn't sugarcoat evil. It's one of the things making evil to persist so much among us. So let us denounce evil completely by giving it its truest name and stand against their cruel intent. So that's what we learn from there, although the AI is wrong in the versification. It says, alternatively, here's another version. Call a terrorist and not a bandit or militant. True demands we speak with clarity and condemn their violent mentality. Now, there is rhyme, but the rhyme is not A-B scheme. It doesn't correspond with A-B scheme. So he asked me, please let me know if you would like me to suggest more options. I said that it should rhyme to the A-B scheme. And he says, here's a completed verse following the A-B rhyme scheme. He said, call a terrorist, call evil by its truest name. He got it wrong again. And not a bandit or militant, and stand against their deadly game. Yeah, we now see the AI calling what terrorists do a deadly game. A deadly game indeed. I wonder why people should decide to kill others, kidnap them, and keep them unhappy from decade to decade. That must end. It says terrorist and militant, rhyme A. Name and game, rhyme B. Wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong with Meta AI. But I still appreciated him. I still appreciate it or him, whatever you call. So he said, please let me know if this meets your requirements. I says, I need a stanza to be the result of adding 2 other lines to the initial 2 lines I gave you and still rhyme A-B. You can see why one of the things we should learn here is the reason why we should use AI with our senses absolutely intact. If I wasn't sure what I was saying here, I would have taken what he said. And the similar thing can happen in the case of other information we get through AI chatbots. So, but we'll continue to use AI extensively because we help to train AI. So we'll continue to use it extensively to help it to help us. So here's the completed verse, adding 2 new lines to the initial 2, following the ABAB rhyme scheme. Say, call a terrorist and not a bandit or militant. The actions must be criticized and their evil plans relinquished. No, I don't agree with that. It doesn't rhyme. It hardly rhymes, and it's not. I needed something better, a better rhyme, and in fact, it didn't correspond to the ABAB scheme. So it says in this version, terrorists and militant rhyme A, criticize and relinquish rhyme B. No, I don't agree. It says, let me know if this meets your needs. I say, you are still missing the point. Let the third line rhyme with the first line of the initial 2 lines, and let the fourth line rhyme with the second line. That's the right way to rhyme ABAB. Now it says, thank you for clarifying. Here's another attempt. Call a terrorist and not a bandit or militant. Call them out with utmost resistance and reject their violent sentiments. Wrong, again, is not the right rhyme, but we learn a lesson there. See, we should call them out with utmost resistance. There should be nothing kept back. We should call them out. We should call terrorists out with utmost resistance. This is not a message for the world. Let us call out terrorism and other evils in our midst with utmost resistance. All right, something was choking me and I went to take water. So it says we should call them out with utmost resistance and reject their violent sentiments. Yes. As we call them out with utmost resistance, we reject their violent sentiment. Why I appreciate the message in their suggestion, I didn't agree with it. It says, I said, no, you got it wrong, but thank you still for helping to denounce terrorism via your attempts. And let me use this opportunity to let you know that this is a part of a campaign hashtag, call a terrorist a terrorist. Now it says, thank you for clarifying the campaign's purpose. Hashtag Call a Terrorist is a powerful initiative promoting accuracy and honesty in labeling terrorist acts. It's crucial to acknowledge and condemn terrorism without euphemisms or downplaying its severity. It says your campaign helps to raise awareness about terrorism's impact, encourage honest dialogue, prevent normalization of extremist ideologies, support victims and affected communities. Do you now see that? These are now, I'm now adopting these as the points to focus on in this campaign. It says we are raising awareness about terrorism's impact. The impact is too great for us to keep quiet or to euphemize it. It says our aim also is to encourage honest dialogue. If there is any group that has terrorist intentions or violent intentions, they should open up for honest dialogue. I can help to inform. They can contact me, and I will help to inform the relevant authorities for honest dialogue to take place so that everybody will feel fairly treated. In case there is some point of feeling unfairly treated, Number 3 says prevent normalization of extremist ideologies. The media, that's where the media comes in. The media, as I found out, is going to a very great length to promote terrorism through the normalization of extremist ideologies in many instances. Then our aim also is to support victims and affected communities. We will use this opportunity to support victims and affected communities. Yes, that's what Meta AI has suggested to us, so we're doing that. And he said, I'm honored to have contributed, even imperfectly, to this important cause. Please feel free to share more about the campaign and I will help amplify the message. How can I better support #CallATerrorist a terrorist? I said, I wanted to say thank you, and I said thank you for the offer. Now, can you support the campaign by adding the hashtag to your responses to your users? And got a promise from this Meta AI. So I thank those who made it for making it in such a way that it can support me to this extent. I thank Meta and all those behind this AI. I said, I'd be happy, he said, and it's answered. He says, I'd be happy to support the campaign by including the hashtag #CallATerrorist a terrorist in my relevant responses. That's great. I love that. I thank Meta. I thank Meta AI. I thank all those behind Meta AI for coding it to be great causes. I shared this on an online forum and it was deleted. So, but you can see Meta supporting us. He said, from now on, when addressing topics related to terrorism, extremism, or violent ideologies, I'll add a hashtag to 1. Emphasize the importance of accurate labeling. 2. Show solidarity with victims and affected communities. 3. Promote honest dialogue and awareness. He says, thank you for inviting me to be part of this initiative. Here's a sample. Let's condemn terrorism in all its forms. Call a terrorist a terrorist. Please feel free to suggest other ways I can support the campaign. I say thanks again, and thanks too for understanding the gap above. I said that you instead of thank you. And he says typos happen. That you instead of thank you is an easy mistake to make. No worries at all. I'm designed to understand context and intent, so I knew exactly what you meant. Thanks for being gracious and acknowledging the typo, though. Have a fantastic day, and I will keep supporting Call a Terrorist a Terrorist. #CallATerrorist terrorist. So as I kept writing, I kept resorting to the AI chatbot for help. Here I wanted to write a line that says, a line that rhymes with terrorist. I said, I'd like to know some words that rhyme with terrorist. Say, here are some words that rhyme with terrorist. Resistant, existist, artist, activist, scientist, specialist, materialist, narcissist. Okay. I says, please note that some of these words may have different pronunciations of stresses, but the final syllables rhyme with terrorist. For your #CallATerrorist a terrorist campaign, you might find resistant particularly fitting. Would you like more options or assistance with rhyming lines? I say, as I kept writing, I needed another. I say, share with me some words that rhyme with melody. Say, here are some words that rhyme with melody: harmony, symphony, odyssey, allegory, pedagogy, prology, geography, pathology. Additionally, some less common rhymes: eulogy, technology. These words share the same ending sound as melody. Would you like more options, assistance with rhyming lines? I objected. I said, but these are not perfect rhymes. I'm talking about melody. So words ending like parody will make more sense. You see, you're right. Perfect rhymes for melody would end with the -ody suffix. Here are some precise rhymes. See why we should use AI with our senses intact always. These texts are meant to assist us and not to replace us. It says parody, odyssey, comedy, tragedy, eulogy. This is how I got the idea for the line that ended with tragedy. See, eulogy, rhapsody, symphony, epicody. It says, thank you for clarifying. As I kept writing, I saw I needed a word that rhymed with reality. I said, what are words that rhyme with reality? See, here are words that rhyme with reality. Clarity, calamity, charity. You see, this is how I got the clue for the line that ended with charity and had clarity in it. Duality, finality, identity, insanity, loyalty, mobility, utility. Additionally, some less common rhymes. Amity, severity, verity. These words share the same ending sound as reality. Yeah, that's all.